Imagine a parents calling the social landlord to say there is black mold in their child's bed. The problem is not simply a repair needs to be booked. Problem is whether the report is captured correctly, whether the risk is recognized, whether the landlord can see previous report at the same property, and whether someone acts before the situation become dangerous. This is not a theoretical issue. In latest housing ombudsman review, 71% of the complaints reviewed were upheld and repair complaints were upheld at an even higher rate of 73%. So the real challenge is not just fixing homes, it is making sure serious cases are heard, understood, prioritized, and tracked from the first moment the resident contacts the landlord. Since October 2025, above law has placed strict timeframes on social landlord in England. Emergency hazards must be investigated and made safe within 24 hours. Significant damp and mold hazards must be investigated within 10 working days. Once confirmed, safety work must begin within 5 working days. That means poor intake, missing notes, or delayed escalation are no longer only operational problems. They create legal risk, safety risk, and loss of public trust. So that is why I built a system called as Fix First, which is for government of UK. So what Fix First does is it doesn't claim to solve shortage of surveyors or contractor. It solves the earlier bottleneck, turning an unstructured call into a verifiable, visible, risk-aware case that a human officer can act on quickly. Basically, this is Fix First, a voice-first housing repair platform designed for social landlord. A resident can report a repair by phone or check progress online. The AI listens, structures the report, and highlight missing information, but it doesn't decide who receives the repair, who is at fault, or whether a serious case can be closed. AI assists and human basically decides. So we are in the homepage of Fix First. Fix First store only the information needed to manage the case, basically. A verified property reference, contact preference, reported issues, or time of report, case status, consent or communication preferences, and an audit record of action is taken for every conversation we're having. Where a resident voluntarily shares vulnerability information, such as child asthma, it is treated as sensitive information. So any sensitive information is being considered. And before a case is created, the system verifies the addresses and postcode, reads key fact back to the caller, and asks them to confirm if verification fails. The caller requests a person or an emergency is identified. The case is handled to the human advisor, basically. So the AI doesn't take care of that, basically, because that's a sensitive, basically conversation. Now me as a citizen, I'm actually signing in. I can see that there's an active inquiry. There's a housing repair happening. I can start a conversation or take another reference, or I can call this number. So I'll show the demo very shortly on how I can do it through directly mobile phone when I'm calling and the case is getting generated. So right now, whatever you see is for citizen one, but if in case the agent wants to sign in, which is a government agent, let's say Alex signs up, you would be able to see the dashboard about what kind of things are pending and all those things, quick performance insights overall, and he can list and go through the cases whatever were there. He can search through it, etc. So let's make a call. Let's make an agentic AI call. So here's my mobile phone, and from my mobile phone I'm making a call to our hotline number. So right now I'm putting it in speaker. I'm calling about a new issue. That's correct. Currently at my home, there's a lot of black mold and I feel unsafe. Since yesterday, I'm feeling suffocation and I have to deal with this. That's correct. My flat is 18 Dryfield Road, HA89JR, Edgeware. That's correct. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's also correct. All of those are correct. That's all. Thank you. Okay. So if you see here, the case BCCB has been successfully created. Now inside this and see what this case is all about. You can see from this that the address is directly generated successfully, and we have voice intake where we see that the visual review or live transform is actually recommended. It also calculated and saw the previous cases so that we can understand how previously this particular user has been, I mean citizen has been affected. And there's a recording and transcription in detail on what exactly we discussed in detail. We can play this recording as well, and we can approve the inspection, request evidence, and all the conversation is now connected in a graph database basically. So we know that what happened to the previous cases. So since I was doing experimentation, a lot of previous cases were also connected. For the risk and compliance, I can also the AI automatically identify the risk associated with it, with respect to the policies which we have. And the audit trail tells us what are the state basically steps that the agent took, and you can also download the governance HTML basically to see the detailed report on what exactly what was happening. Let's say if you open this one, you can see the detailed governance report on what exactly happened and how agent make those decisions, so that we can also have a evaluation system on top of it. This is one part, and you can also approve the inspection. So if you see the inspection is approved, you can see the new traceability is being added automatically. And this will be a part of your report again, so that tomorrow we are able to track everything in detail. So this is the cases. For live calls, we should be able to see the live calls here. For capabilities, we're putting down all the capability. There's something called as policy assistant. So what it does is it allows you to ask question about your knowledge base, where you can ask question. Let's say there are a lot of recently case BCBEB is the one. So let's say I'm a new caseworker and I want to ask question about it. I can ask in two ways, either through text or through voice. And it also support multi-language, means it support few languages. Let's say if I click on start and case number BCCB, so you can see that it is responding back in different languages, and also in the phone call also the languages are being accepted. You can also ask questions directly from the examples that is being provided. For the knowledge base, we can upload our policy documents, whatever we want to add. For the AI governance layer, we have a risk system register and approved policy that is already, it keeps on updating as we add policies here. And we can also update the system register so that we can manage the governance part. Security and AI information is also being provided. This will be provided from both the sides, citizen and the user. For auditability and traceability, we can have these are the steps that is being taken for the auditability and traceability. We have a Lang-Smith tracing that is being connected, which allows us to basically see end-to-end observability. There's something called as DSAR, which is data security. So from a GDPR perspective also, we have option to either remove or to make changes to the data that we are storing. There's a retention policy at organization level. We can download the entire case and data of that particular user if you want to utilize it in any way. We have other AI information and all these things. We have something called a citizen status, where you can track their status internally as well as from a cockpit view. There's something called as training simulator, which I built in case a new caseworker comes and they want to use this workspace to learn about how it works and how we can utilize it, so they can see this as well. I don't know why it's taking so much time, but yeah, maybe because I'm video recording. Yeah. For government and social landlords, adaptation only works when trust is built into the design. So first, support this through role-based access control, data minimization, retention control, audit logs, and subject access or deletion workflow. For AI governance, we document what each AI component does, what data it access, when it must hand over to the human, and how its performance is monitored. This aligns with the principle behind GDPR, sector algorithmic transparency, and ISO IEC 42001, accountability, transparency, risk management, and continuous review. We do not use emotion detection, lie detection, or action-based risk scoring. Those are not needed to make the service better, and they should not be used. So I think this is kind of feasible solution. So this can move from a demo to deployment in a realistic way. Start with one landlord, one contact center, one high-risk service area, damp, mold, and urgent repair. Run it first as an officer co-pilot alongside existing system. Measure what it reduces duplicate contacts, improves completeness of reports, identify deadline risk earlier, and improve resident updates. Then integrate control case creation and contractor workflow only after the evidence shows it is safe and useful. So fix first is not novel because it uses a voice agent. It is novel because it turns AI into accountable public service infrastructure, which is very powerful. Because we are not only talking to the AI agent, we are actually verifying and helping basically the agent to work quicker, accurately, and safely basically. A resident gets heard faster, an officer gets the right context earlier, a landlord gets control, evidence, and visibility. AI listen, human decides, and public gets accountability.